allowed to go to baseball games yet? Anyone? No? Cool. Cool.
Because that's how you get ants.
Today's episode kicks off Nostalgia Month, but before we get to that, this is my book. Check it out on Amazon. The movies that have been selected for Nostalgia Month are movies that I haven't seen since I was a kid. The real test is to see if these things hold up over time, if the only reason I like them is the fond memories I have of watching them as a kid. In 1945, Billy Goat Tavern owner William Sionis was on his way to root on the Chicago Cubs in Game 4 of the World Series at Wrigley Field, and he brought his goat Murphy with him.
And now, the starting lineup for your Chicago Cubs.
He wasn't allowed in, even though Murphy had his own ticket. Allegedly, the enraged Sionis said, "You are going to lose this World Series, and you are never going to win another World Series ever again." Thus, the curse of the Billy Goat was born. No news on what Murphy had to say on the matter. The Chicago Cubs have always been the lovable losers of baseball. The team was founded in 1870, playing as the Chicago White Stockings. The National League of Baseball Clubs was established in 1876, at which point the Stockings joined, making them one of the original professional baseball teams in America. They went on to win the World Series in 1907 and 1908. Then nothing until 2016. Was it the curse of the Billy Goat? The world may never know. One thing we do know for certain is that the Cubs have an intensely loyal fan base. In 1993, 20th Century Fox decided to take on the Cubs in a film directed by Daniel Stern, who is this guy. Yep, Marv from Home Alone, and the voice inside Kevin Arnold's head in The Wonder Years directed this movie. In 2016, the Cubs were able to break their curse, so let's see if we can break out anything nice to say about Rookie of the Year. It's opening day for the Cubs. We watch the pageantry, the excitement, and then cut to the radio booth where John Candy, who is uncredited in this role, is the commentator for the Cubbies. This is hilarious. He is a great piece of this movie. There's a whole era in the 80s and early 90s where John Candy defined Midwestern movies from Home Alone to Uncle Buck to Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. Candy is the second city Canadian adopted by the American Midwest, and his comedy training is on full display here. He's a fan, but a jaded one. He has no faith that the Cubs are going anywhere this year, and just like that, the first pitch of the season is a home run knocked out of the park by the opposing team. Cut to Henry Rowengartner. He's hanging out with his friends on his way to his Little League game. They run past his mom, Mary, who questions whether he'll get to play. His friends talk about how much he sucks. As he runs off, she tosses him some sunblock. He doesn't catch it. His friends razz him a bit for it. Mary is a single mom just trying to do her best. She has a good relationship with Henry, and we can tell how much she wants to be there for him, but still has to support him. It's a strong thread throughout and is a refreshing relationship to see play out, how much she cares for and takes care of her kid. At the game, Henry rides the bench. Even though he never plays, his two friends always come to support him. They keep the chalk scoreboard and watch him from atop it. Henry finally gets in playing in the outfield. He's wearing jeans, guys. He doesn't even have a uniform. He misses a pop fly, tripping over himself and knocking his hat back. He picks up the ball and blindly throws it out of the park. Henry's bad at baseball. Really bad. Like the Cubs, he's a lovable loser, but he loves baseball and dreams of playing like his dad did. The next day at school, Henry stares wistfully at his crush. His friends brought him to go talk to her, but he doesn't. After school, he grows braver and tries to talk to her. One of his teammates yells to him to catch and hits a ball to him. As he's running after it, he trips on another ball and lands on his shoulder. He's in a cast for the summer. Once the cast is taken off, his tendons have healed strangely. The doctor takes him through some motions. When he brings his arm down, the tendons are so tight his hand snaps at incredible speed and breaks the doctor's nose, and we get the classic line,
Funky butt lovin'.
Did he just say funky butt lovin'? Alright guys, this is the deal. Let's bring back funky butt lovin'. As a cast-off present, Mary gets him and his friends Cubs tickets. They're goofing off by running down the up escalator, which will come back later. At the Cubs game, Chet Rocket Steadman is pitching. The kids are yelling at him to throw the hot, stinky cheddar. Instead, the opposing team hits a home run into the bleachers, and the bleacher rule is you don't keep a home run from the opposing team. The guy tries to throw it back, but it doesn't even get to the field. Another home run gets hit to the bleachers, now recovered by Henry's friends. Neither of them want to throw it back because they don't want to get made fun of, so Henry does. With the way he's healed, he throws the ball from the bleachers to home plate hard enough to knock back the catcher as the batter comes towards home. Everyone stares for a minute, then the batter drops and the catcher tries to make the tag. The ump calls him safe and everyone turns to stare at the bleachers. John Candy is announcing it and calls it a frozen rope from 435 feet.
Somebody just threw a frozen rope from the bleachers to home plate. That's got to be 435 feet.
In the background, we have Larry Fisher, the owner's nephew, who is about to inherit the team from his uncle Bob. Bob is played adorably by Eddie Bracken, who never misses a game, but is afraid to go and sit down with the fans. I'm not kidding when I say he's adorable in this role. He's just an old man excited about finding a Dakota ring in his Cracker Jacks. Fish is going to lose the franchise if they don't sell out every game for the rest of the season. I don't know if that's a real thing in baseball, but it's stakes, and it gives them a reason to get Henry on the team. A publicity stunt will put butts in seats. They track Henry down and give him a tryout. He's consistently throwing 100+ miles per hour pitches. At a press conference, everyone is told if they want to see Henry pitch, they have to go out to the game. Mary's smarmy boyfriend Jack, smarmed up by Bruce Altman, takes on the role of Henry's manager. He does a great job playing gross. Daniel Stern plays Brick, the pitching coach, a weirdo nutcase who provides some of the best lines from the movie. He's not very helpful. Henry is disliked by the rest of the team. They don't go much into training. Sal, the head coach, has a running gag of never getting Henry's name right.
I'm looking for Henry Ruhlenfurter. Raffenboozer.
Rosenbagger! Gardenhoser!
The crowd starts chanting to put Henry in. The first hit off of him is a home run by Hedo. It's this guy. At one point, he's grinding the bat into sawdust with his hands, just deliciously over the top. The Cubs squeak out the win, but no thanks to Henry. The coach tells Stedman to start working with him. In Henry's second showing, he doesn't do much better until Stedman comes out to talk to him on the mound. He spouts nonsense to the point where neither of them know what the hell he said.
What the heck was I talking about?
What the heck was he talking about?
Henry's next pitch leads to a double play. Neil Flynn plays the first baseman and hands the ball to Henry with a "nice pitch, kid," and we're off to the races. A lot of montage of Henry striking out guys and winning games. For their away game, his mom floats him a bottle of sunscreen in the airport. Hey, maybe that will be important later. On their flight, Henry has a moment with Stedman where he says he's afraid of what will happen if he heats up his arm again. It's sort of sweet. Henry has to bat against the Dodgers. Real MLB pitcher Tim Stoddard plays the pitcher. This is another one of the greatest scenes from the movie. I don't want to spoil it. As the winning continues, we see the Cubs players all running down the up escalator. Henry is reigniting their love of the game, which is a trend in a lot of 90s sports movies. Stedman becomes the love interest for Henry's mom, mostly because of the way he treats and takes care of Henry on the team. Jack, remember the smarmy boyfriend Henry's manager, is jealous and conspires with Fish to sell Henry to the Yankees. Yankees. Ooh. Henry lands a Pepsi endorsement, and while they're filming the commercial, he misses a meeting with his friends where they were going to put the engine on the boat they've been refurbishing. Jack gets in on Henry, talking about how worthless his father was and saying terrible things that Mary overhears. She punches Jack in the face and kicks him out. She sits down to have a heart-to-heart with Henry about his father and finds out he already knows. Grandma told him. Again, it's a touching development in their relationship with her as a single mom. We get to the final division game. If the Cubs win, they go on to the World Series. Henry has made the decision he's not coming back next year. He asks Bob why he wanted to sell Henry to the Yankees, so Bob turns on Fish. Stedman is the starting pitcher and does a great job, but burns out. He and Sal have a back and forth where he asks for one more. He throws the ball so hard it breaks the bat. As he goes to field it, he tries to throw, but has completely blown out his arm. It's emotional, it's rough, he can't even throw it to the catcher, so he has to try and run down the runner from third. It's heartbreaking. In the last inning, Henry runs out to the mound and trips on a ball, landing on his shoulder, and like an amnesiac getting hit over the head, everything is undone. He can't throw hard anymore. He walks the first batter, calls the team into conference, and uses Little League childish antics to get 2 outs. let's be honest, how many of you tried the hidden ball trick after this movie? The next batter is Hedo. The catcher loudly says he can't hit your fastball, tricking the batter into thinking a fastball is coming. He whiffs at a changeup. The next pitch he hits is a foul ball. With no tricks left, Henry tries to figure out what to do and uncovers the name on his glove. His dad was never a baseball player. His mom was. They commune across the stands and she encourages him to float it. He does. The batter whiffs. Strike 3, game over. The Cubs win the division. Next year, we see Henry back at Little League making a catch. Stedman is coaching, and the last shot is Henry raising his fist in triumph wearing a World Series ring. This is a great movie. It's a great baseball movie. There are cameos from a bunch of real players, including Barry Bonds. The emotional undercurrent of a single mother doing her best and trying her hardest is sweet and heartbreaking. I'm tired of reading reviews where critics say something is bad because it's implausible and would never happen. Of course, dummies. That's why it's a comedy. Lighten up. Rookie of the Year is charming and cute. If you're missing baseball, it might be worth the watch. Streaming on... I'm not sponsored, so, you know, the one with the famous mouse. That's all for this episode of Anything Nice to Say. Remember to float it and never be ashamed to like what you like.
Take me out to the ball game. Take me out with the crowd. Buy me some peanuts and cracker jack. I don't care if I never get.
Be sure to like, share, and subscribe. Hit the notification bell for notifications. If you have a movie you'd like us to do, drop it in the comments. Become a subscriber on Patreon for early access and exclusives, and head over to our merch store for merch.